If I said they've lost their identity, hit the gas or pump the brakes?
Hit the gas, Greeny, honestly. And it's not even a question of, oh, do they want to run the ball? Are they a passing team? It's the fact that they used to be bullies. They used to have their way with people. They used to toy with teams. And now everything seems hard. Week after week, they keep saying the same thing. We need to clean up mistakes, and those mistakes are still happening.
Absolutely. They've lost 4 out of 5 games. We've seen a lot of frustration from their players, in particular from their star receiver, A.J. Brown, who was one of many who voiced concern over the course of time. But he still believes this team can turn it around. Listen.
Everybody in his locker room is frustrated. So why are you singling me out because I'm frustrated? Like, just because I'm shaking my head, I'm showing emotion. You can look at everybody in the stadium has bad body language. They're frustrated. All this freaking adversity, we right there. That's what happens when you're trying to get to the next step. Gravity pulls against you. Everything pulls against you. And I think that's what this team is going through right now. And I think once we fight through that, push through that, we're going to be fine. We're going to be right where we need to be. Because I know we got great people in this locker room.
So overall, it was a very, very positive session he had there. He really was trying to build up his team, all of that stuff. So I liked everything that he said, but there was one really interesting point you made in our meeting this morning about body language.
Yeah, this season, A.J. Brown has been the best player offensively for the Philadelphia Eagles. So if you're the best player on that football team, body language matters. You can't be on the football field pouting. You can't be on the football field having bad body language. When I played in the National Football League and I was in the same receiver room with Roddy White, Julio Jones, or when it was Brian Finner and Michael Jenkins, we fined each other for stuff like that. Especially because we knew we were the best group on the football team, and if we had bad body language, everyone else was going to see it and it was going to have an effect on our football team. So every time you see something go wrong for the Philadelphia Eagles offensively, y'all know what a TV camera cuts to?
Yeah, right to them. Yeah.
A.J. Brown, because of the bad body language. Now, I just want him to be mindful of that. I love him as a player. He's one of my favorite players to watch, and I love the competitor that he is, and I will go to war with him any and every day. But you have to be mindful of your body language because, listen, when you have bad body language, you give people in the media to assume what they want to assume. Don't even give them that opportunity. I sat there in a game and watched Joe Burrow get sacked 9 times, and his body language never changed. And they came back and beat the Tennessee Titans and went on to have a Super Bowl run. So I'm telling you, we teach little kids growing up playing sports, bad body language is everything. Have better body language. That's all I'm saying.
That's an interesting point. But I'm just curious, how much would you fine? Like Julio Jones, what is the fine for that?
No, we'll just do like $25, but fines add up because we used to fine for every single.
You're in Atlanta, right? You find them in ones?
Let me counter to that, Bart.
That's where the money go at the end of the year.
At the end of the year, you know we had a good time with those ones.
Lemon pepper Lou.
And chicken wings.
Lemon pepper Lou.
Chicken wings.
And now, returning to the family part of the show, did the offensive linemen do that? Would you fine each other for bad body language?
We ain't got time for that, Greeny.
Ain't nobody got time for that?
Ain't nobody got time for that, man. Like, we're like a unit inside of a unit. So, what he's talking about, that doesn't pertain to us.
Offensive linemen don't even comport themselves like
I
that.
don't even know what that means. Like,
Having said all of that, having said all of that, and I think we will regret having done so. Let me then come to you on the other part.
Yeah.
This whole conversation came up because Jeff Saturday said yesterday, this team has no identity. I think Kmart says it in an interesting way. Their identity last year was on both sides of the ball. We're going to punch you in the face until you can stop us, and no one ever could.
They're a shell of themselves, and it's an example of the easiest way to really cripple a team is by, one, taking their players and by taking their coordinators. And the Philadelphia Eagles lost both. They lost Gardner Johnson, and they lost who was pretty much the heartbeat of that defense. And I don't understand how a unit can get Jalen Carter and get worse in rushing the passer. This unit was supposed to be able to come at you in waves and wear you out, much like the Jets tried to do with the best front 7 in all of football. But on the back end, they struggle as well. And they don't have, I don't understand what, like, their fits. I don't understand their fits, their run fits, how they get gouged. You know, they thought Shaq Leonard was going to bring it in, but he looks like he can't run right now. I don't know if it's either a philosophy or execution or guys not using their techniques. Sometimes coordinators come in and some guys are a spill team, a squeeze team. I don't know what the hell this team is.
Well, we had a stat up there yesterday. Maybe Hembo can throw it up again on the text thing there. But the number of sacks they had on third downs last season relative to this season, the difference has been ridiculous. And he makes an interesting point. D. Wood, I remember when we were doing the draft, and they got Jalen Carter. And we were sitting there talking about, oh my God, this great defense is only going to get so much better. How have they gotten? Why has this defense gone from what it was, which was elite, to what it is now, which is a major liability?
Yeah, listen, you talk about last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. They used to impose their will on people on both sides of the ball. That's what made them good. That's actually why, like, you look at the teams at the end of the year, the teams at the end of the year usually are great on the line, physicality, line of scrimmage. Philadelphia Eagles, they don't have any of that. Think about this, Greeny. Last week at Lincoln Financial Field, the Arizona Cardinals came in there and literally punched the Eagles in the mouth. The Philadelphia Eagles knew they were running the ball and still could not stop them. That's why, in my opinion, when you have a team free falling, has no identity, lacking physicality, those teams usually end up like one and done.
Well, what's the sad part is that team led the National Football League with 70 sacks last year.
Right.
Against the Arizona Cardinals last week, you know how many they had? 0. 0 sacks, and they allowed Arizona to rush the football for over 200 yards. That's inexcusable in my opinion. I don't think the defense can get fixed. Their back end, their linebackers, they're not getting pressure on the quarterback. They're not stopping the run. Since the bye week, they've given up over 100 yards per game.
Super quick, Kmart, finish it up.
No, I think everybody thought, oh, they'll be fine without Jonathan Gannon, Shane Steichen, Denard Wilson. It'll be fine. You just keep it moving. But again, I think people need to understand it's important that you keep people in place.
All right. Have they lost their identity?
Well, Nick Sirianni had 2 messages for the football team after the loss to Arizona Cardinals. Number 1, he said to the team, and he said it publicly as well, he said, we have a lot of things to fix, and we have to fix them fast. And then he said, the second thing is important as well. This team must stick together from here on out. We can't have any of the back and forth on the sideline. We can't let the media or the fans divide us. We must stick together. Now, I've been covering the team for a long time and the NFL for a long time, Greeny. It's very rare that you have a team that is going into the playoffs where the coach says those 2 things, but he needed to say it. And that's what I think Jeff Saturday is talking about. So they have an identity on offense. His name is A.J. Brown. They have 4 Pro Bowlers on offense. Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, DeAndre Swift makes the Pro Bowl for the first time in an Eagles uniform, and A.J. Brown. So against the Cardinals, and I got these numbers from Hembo, and I want to get them right because they're important to listen to. Against the Cardinals, they had 26 offensive snaps in the second half, and A.J. Brown had 1 target, and it was for 18 yards, and it was their longest play in the second half. So if I'm A.J. Brown, of course I'm frustrated. I'm not getting the football. Here's what should happen this week going into the Giants game and going into the playoffs. Jeff Stoutland, Nick Sirianni, Ryan Johnson, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown should figure out how to run the offense through A.J. Brown. Those shallow crosses, the catches that will give him yards after the catch. Those are the things that should be the identity of this offense right now.
Fair enough. And yet the offense has really not been their biggest problem. I agree it has been a problem, or at least it hasn't been what it was. But the defense has been an absolute mess. Can they get that fixed in the next 10 days?
Well, again, I got these numbers from Hembo and the film study, and we're doing a piece on the NFL matchup this week about the Eagles' offense. The defense and the offense. And the number one thing when you look at the defense, Greeny, and I got these numbers from Hembo, the Eagles play the worst man coverage in the NFL, and the film study shows that. Their man coverage is leaky all over the field. 79 QBR leads the league, worst in the league, among opposing quarterbacks against the Eagles' man coverage. And when the Eagles are in man, they have given up 26 touchdown passes with only 5 interceptions, worst in the league. So whatever they do, they need to incorporate more zone defense and more blitzes in front of it so that they get to the quarterback, because they're not getting to the quarterback, especially on third down. They can fix this. They have the roster to fix it, with possibly the exception of their secondary, and if they're playing man coverage is a problem.
So interpret that for me. Let me bring, if we could here, Will, come out to the table a minute. Sal, stay close. I want you in the conversation, but let me come to my defensive player here. You interpret that for me. When they're playing man coverage, they are getting torched. What does that mean? What can they do about it?
It means that Bradbury's lost a step, so you have to put him in zone to protect him because teams are attacking him, and you have to make sure that you're able to keep the football in front and make teams move the ball down the field. Now you hope that you get, with the talent you have in the defensive line, you get a holding penalty, get them behind the sticks, and then the advantage goes to you. You can't allow guys to, because they have these man beaters and rubbing routes, and they're not communicating well, and their fits in the run game is atrocious, which forces those linebackers to overcommit, which creates tremendous throwing lanes behind the linebackers in front of the safeties. They're really missing, like I said, Gardner Johnson, because he was a dynamic playmaker on the back end. They tried to fix it by making a trade for Bird. It hasn't worked out. And to me, I think it's more of a philosophy. They don't know how they want to attack and where they're supposed to fit, so they're guessing, and they're not playing fast. They're playing slow because they don't know. I don't know if they've added some things to it, if Patricia changed some of the fundamentals about how you fit and how we play certain routes. But zone could be turned into man as well when you think about cover 3. If you want to go that route, 2 verticals to that side makes it man-to-man. So you got to have these guys play and execute at a higher level.
I mean, they have 6 first-round picks on that defensive front. They have talent. The issue is if your front isn't getting pressure on the quarterback and your back end is giving up explosive plays, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Giving up a lot of points. And we talk again about everyone thought, oh, they'll be fine losing Jonathan Gannon. They'll be fine losing Shane Steichen. They're just going to keep on rolling. They're going to be fine losing Denard Wilson. They are not fine. It's week 18. They are not fine, y'all.
The pass rush and the secondary go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? If they can't complement one another, then it's going to be the same thing that we've seen. That's why, Bart, I said the Tampa Bay matchup is bad for them because Tampa Bay doesn't run the football. They pass the football.
Let me quickly,
and they have the receivers.
I want to get back to what Sal said about the offense for my 2 offensive guys, though. Run it through A.J. Brown. I mean, he was magnificent last year, but this team last year based everything on the run, right? The quarterback run and all that kind of stuff. What is the offensive philosophy that gets them into a deep playoff run?
Well, I do believe you still have to run the football. You can't be one-dimensional, and it has to start there. But A.J. Brown, if you have 26 plays in the second half and he sees 1 football, that's terrible. That's bad coaching, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, last year, the Philadelphia Eagles were so lethal because they ran the RPO game better than anybody in the National Football League. When I say RPO, run pass option, that doesn't seem to be the case this year with Philadelphia. And listen, when you think about Philadelphia, this year on offense, remember like during the point of season where I think it was like 6 weeks in a row, A.J. Brown had 125 yards receiving per game.
He was the MVP.
Now I think it's 63.
Yeah, I mean, he's completely fallen off a cliff.
Is he the one? Do you go into the playoffs thinking the Cowboys have the best quarterback in the conference?
Yeah, I'm excited about Dak, and what he also brings to the table is a sense of athleticism, right? So he can utilize his legs, get away from pressure, extend plays, be an extension of the run game, something that they don't have right now. So a lot is on Dak's shoulders. And I love the way he's been able to handle it. He's super confident at the moment right now. So I like Dak Prescott and the Cowboys' chances right now.
That offensive line is leaky right now.
I mean, they looked beatable against Detroit. Let's put it. I mean, they have looked very
beatable. They lost
the last 4 weeks.
Here's the thing that I'll say. When we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, the word trust is always the word that you throw around with the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
Who do you trust more, Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford? Or Mike McCarthy and Dak.
See, we talking teams. Wait.
Why we keep moving the goalposts here now? We moving the goalposts right now.
I already explained Matthew. Why I'm rolling with Matthew Stafford. I already explained that.
Hold on, Bishop. Hold on.
To be clear, she said Bishop.
Bishop Wood.
Articulate.
So yesterday, when Greeny raised this question, he said strictly quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Now you bring it up, the offensive line.
But I already said Matthew Stafford.
Because here's the thing, we talking teams. Then San Francisco, that's the team to beat in the NFC. We're talking about quarterbacks. The Rams, to me, are
Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford's most talented quarterback over in the playoffs.
I really like how Dak played against the Los Angeles Rams when they played them.
It was early. It was early in the season.
Hembo just had some numbers up there on how well Stafford has played. If you can put those back up again, Hembo. In the games when they've all been healthy, when they've all been right. I mean, that's your point. An NFL season has become so long now. What?
No.
No what?
Because here's the thing. People use that against Brock Purdy. Oh, when Brandon Ayuk and when Deebo Samuel aren't there, like
Right.
it's Brock Purdy. We just put up numbers saying that Matthew Stafford plays well when his best players are on the field.
Right.
That's literally football.
Well, who's he playing
That's
with?
literally football.
But we know who's more talented. That's why we had the whole discussion. Well, I'm not going to go
Who's
back to
more
the camp
talented?
stuff. Matthew Stafford is one of the most talented
Yes.
quarterbacks of our generation. What was happening to him in Detroit was a travesty.
But
Like, he's
we're-
been free. He's playing better than I've ever seen him play. And I played long enough to play against Matthew Stafford, and I thought he was a problem then. He just couldn't shake off how bad
We're not
the
talking
Lions
about who's
were.
the best.
You say, well, who's the best quarterback?
I'm taking Dak Prescott.
Who you
right
taking? Who you trust?
Who you
I
trust
trust the
in this-
Super Bowl winner.
Because it's not a question of who, because Brock Purdy isn't the best quarterback of all of these quarterbacks. But this season, him and Dak are balling out
don't-
throughout
hold
the
on.
whole
care about
season.
the numbers.
Are you taking Brock Purdy or Matthew Stafford right now? If
I'm taking Brock Purdy with the 49ers.
See, with the 49ers,
I'm taking-
the question
I'm
you
taking
move the
Dak with the
goalposts now.
no, because
What
here's the
quarterback
thing.
do you
No,
trust?
no,
Not what
here's
team
the
with the
thing.
quarterback do you trust.
Because I already said, so yesterday I said Dak, today I'm saying Dak too. The issue is we're talking about
Who's
strictly
the better
quarterback.
Who's the better
right
quarterback?
now, this season?
No, yes, who's the better quarterback right now
I would go
today?
with Dak.
And I'm saying Matthew Stafford
Okay, that's
is a
fine.
better quarterback.
And that's the beauty of the disagreement. We'll settle this as we continue. I will do a green list, so there will be no question and no debate remaining, because I, of course, am the world's foremost authority on all matters.